Officials say the shooter in the Orlando rampage that left at least 49 dead is Omar Mateen, a 29-year-old from Fort Pierce, Florida. Mateen worked as a security guard, had a gun license, and was a U.S. citizen born in New York to parents from Afghanistan. Officials said he spoke to a 911 operator during the attack and pledged allegiance to Islamic State over the phone. But FBI Director James Comey also said on Monday that his motives were murky, because in that same 911 call, Mateen referenced the Boston Marathon bombers, who had no connection to ISIS. And in the past, Mateen had claimed solidarity of sorts with the al-Qaeda-linked Nusra Front and the Palestinian militant group Hezbollah, two groups that oppose ISIS. Still, ISIS on Monday praised Mateen, calling him, quote, one of the soldiers of the caliphate in America. ISIS has long encouraged its followers to conduct lone wolf attacks, but the FBI says it didn't appear to have any specific involvement in the Orlando massacre.
We see no indication that this was a plot directed from outside the United States, and we see no indication that he was part of any kind of network.
Mateen had been the subject of 2 terrorism-related investigations by the FBI in the past, but both cases were closed after the investigations proved inconclusive. The first was in 2013. Mateen had been cited for making inflammatory remarks to coworkers alleging possible terrorist ties. That led to a 10-month investigation involving confidential sources, recorded conversations, surveillance, and 2 interviews with Mateen himself. The second investigation was launched in 2014 over concerns that Mateen was in contact with a Florida man named Monir Mohammed Abu Salah, who traveled to Syria and became a suicide bomber for the Nusra Front. Mateen had attended the same mosque as Abu Salah in Fort Pierce, Florida. The imam there said he would often bring his son and keep a very low profile.
I'm saying that he was very quiet. He will come the last minute and he will leave the first minute. And he will not talk to anybody. And when somebody will shake hand with him, he will smile and shake hand with him and he will leave.
Mateen had made 2 religious pilgrimages to Saudi Arabia in 2011 and 2012, though it's unclear whether the trips were connected in any way to the shootings. Mateen's relations with his family members, both past and present, depict a wildly divergent personality. His father said that he didn't know about his son's actions.
If I did know a 1% that he is committing such a crime, my son, I would have arrested myself, I would have called the FBI, I would have called the local law enforcement. I don't know why he did what he did. I wasn't aware of it.
Meanwhile, his ex-wife said Mateen was mentally unstable.
A few months after we were married, I saw his instability, and I saw that he was bipolar and he would get mad out of nowhere. That's when I started worrying about my safety, and then after a few months he started abusing me physically very often, and not allowing me to speak to my family, keeping me hostage from them.
Comey says Mateen was radicalized in part online. Officials also aren't ruling out the massacre as a hate crime against the gay community.